Well, the weather has definitely turned. It has been cold and it's been wet, and I haven't really felt like being in the garden. I have done a little bit, well, just now. You will see. Um, I wouldn't say this week is the most encouraging, but yeah, take a look and see what you think.
Man versus Slug.
So the slugs really have done for my kohlrabi. All that is left on any of the plants seems to be the stalk. All the leaves have gone. I had 4 that I didn't have space for, so I'm going to put those in, and fingers crossed they make it. That's the 4 kohlrabi plants in. It does seem that slugs like kohlrabi best. The turnips over here have now started growing quite well now that the peas that were covering them have disappeared. The new Swiss chard plants seem to be doing alright, they haven't been ravaged by the slugs. And even our bindweed is doing very well for itself, and the slugs don't seem to eat that, unfortunately. So, yeah, just the kohlrabi that's been ravaged. From our row of carrots that we planted, I don't know, August, whenever it was, we seem to have 1 that's germinated and is persevering. The other thing that I'm planning on planting out this week is the pak choi that has been sat outside, climatizing, that's not the word, hardening off, there we go. And I've rather neglected it. So I think it definitely needs planting. Now I have a choice of where I'm going to plant it. I'm not really following veg in one bed here because it's just ended up as chaos. I've got quite a lot of space up here now where the leeks were, but the leeks, combination of the rain and the slugs, have destroyed the majority of them. Quite a lot of leaf litter from the trees above, and I think that encourages the slug. But I could plant the pak choi there. Over here, I still have 1 Swiss chard that I haven't dug up, partly because it's doing okay. I don't quite understand in the veg in one bed why the Swiss chard gets taken out and put back in elsewhere. So I've just left that one in. And I have some perpetual spinach here, which seems to be being eaten quite a lot by slugs. And then there is this, down the front, our courgette plant, which I think is coming to the end of its days. A lot of the leaves are suffering from mildew and probably need taking out anyway. But looking at the state in here, I think this is possibly the source of where the slugs are sort of hiding out from the birds, and where they're getting a lot of food. I think this is really starting to attract the slugs. So I think what I may do is just pick those last few courgettes on there, and then just get rid of this entire plant. A pumpkin up there. I don't think you can see that one up there. We have a pumpkin up in the tree that perhaps got to the size of, well, it's bigger than a tennis ball, cricket ball, maybe a little bit larger. But it definitely appears to have started to go rotten now. So I'm really curious, because these pumpkins have done okay in terms of germinating, pollinating, that's the word, and creating a pumpkin. But then they seem to be failing halfway through. Anyway, I mean, it'd be really interesting to know your thoughts on that. What am I doing wrong with the pumpkins, other than growing them 14 foot in the air? But the one that we put the basket under a few weeks ago, that is now up to the size of maybe a small melon. It is definitely still growing. It is filling up that basket. I'm quite excited. I think we might get a pumpkin. We might just get a pumpkin. The wife says the courgette stays for now. She's hopeful that some of those courgettes will get a little bit bigger. So I am going to put the pak choi in this top bed. Now, they have been outside, and it appears that very few of them have leaves anymore, and I suspect a little snail or slug has had a little wander over there and demolished a lot of them. So I'm not very optimistic. Not very optimistic about the leeks. I think at this time of year, when the weather turns and it gets wet and cold and rainy, I'm not very optimistic. So I'm going to put them in. We'll see what happens. But as I said, I'm not very optimistic. Well, there we go. There's some cardboard tubes that have been planted with little stalks sticking out, and well, we'll see what happens. But I imagine we'll just have a nice patch of earth here next time I look in the garden. So that's it for this week. If I get around to editing the video, I have completed my project on the side, which I will show you next week. Well, I will get around to editing the video, it's just whether it will be Saturday or not. So obviously I am feeling thoroughly optimistic about the vegetable patch as we come into autumn. What do you guys do when you get into autumn? Do you just stop gardening, or do you persevere? How do you approach the fall?